Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do a Shop My Stash update for the month of December. If you guys are new here, hi, my name is Vivian. I'm a robotics engineer with a love for all things beauty and makeup related, and I try to do Shop My Stashes every month and just pick out some products to kind of work my way through besides my Project Pan items. And really, I just want to do this so that I am making sure that I'm getting usage out of all of the items in my collection. I know that I have a relatively large collection and I definitely don't want anything to go to waste. So if you guys are interested in this type of content, be sure to like and subscribe if you aren't already. I will say, being the month of December, I want to do something a little bit different, and I know Vlogmas is a very big thing in December. I'm not huge on vlogs, and honestly I don't think I could film every single day, so I'm not gonna do Vlogmas, but I am gonna up my video uploads for the month of December. So I will be posting 3 times a week for the month of December instead of my normal 2. This video is going up on Wednesday and I have another video coming up on Friday, so stay tuned for that. I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for being here, being subscribed to my channel. If you are here, or if you're new here, welcome. I am super happy to have you guys along with me. With all of that being said, let's just hop into it. So if you guys aren't familiar with my Shop My Stash format, the first half of the video is going to be talking about the products that I picked out from last month for the Shop My Stash rotation, and then the second half will be picking out new products. I will leave timestamps linked down below in case you're not super interested in the old products, or if you just want to skip around. Everything will be in the description box for you guys, and I believe that YouTube has like chapters, so you can just skip to the chapter if you're not interested. Let's talk about the items that I had in last month's basket though. The first thing I want to talk about is my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand. I have mine in the shade Fair Medium. I have been using this quite a bit, and I remember really liking this. You know, it's a good product. It blends out really easily. You really don't go overboard with it. I do feel like it's maybe a tad bit warm for my skin, and I know it's supposed to be a contour, so I think I just prefer something a little bit more cool tone for my contour. This is still a great product. I think it blends out super easily. It is quite expensive though, so I'm glad I got to get some use out of it. I do think this makes a better just like bronzer for me than contour. If you guys aren't familiar, I do have an olive skin tone, so I recently figured that out. It feels very recent. I think it's been like a year or so now, but I'm still playing around with makeup and makeup techniques and just trying out things that match with my undertone really well, and I just find that this is a little too warm for my preferences. I know that this is like a cult favorite for a lot of people. I just think that this doesn't really work as a contour for me. I would much rather use this as a bronzer. Still like it. I used it quite a bit this past month, this past rotation. I did use it today too. I feel like you can't really tell, but it's a good product. I also picked out 2 blushes for last month's basket. The first one is this one from Essence. This is the blush, and this is in the shade 40 Beloved. I honestly didn't use this as much as I thought I would. I honestly didn't use either of the blushes as much as I thought I would. I really like this blush. I have a different shade of this blush in the shade 20 Bespoke that is like my go-to, my all-time favorite blush. I have talked about it and raved about it for years at this point, and that blush I really like. This one is just a little bit pinkier than the other shade that I have, and I just haven't really been reaching for this. I think that the cream blush that I have in my Project Pan right now just works really well, and I don't feel the need to top that blush with another blush. Like, that's the only blush I have on today. I know it is quite glowy, but I've been really liking that look lately. I think that blush is great, so I just haven't been reaching for this one very often. If I were to reach in with a powder blush, I was more so going in with this one from Cover FX. This is a monochromatic blush duo in the shade Spiced Cinnamon. I'm not actually sure if Cover FX is still a brand. I remember them being taken off of Ulta for a while there, and I haven't really heard anything about them since, so I'm not sure if you can still get this. But this is a beautiful blush. The shade Spice Cinnamon is just like this beautiful kind of like sunburnt blush, but it comes with the matte formula and it comes with the shimmer topper, so you can mix and match. If you want more of a shimmery blush, you can just go in with the matte side. I found lately that I've just been going in with the matte side, but this blush is stunning. This is one of my favorite blush formulas. This is the first blush formula I ever fell in love with. It's a little bit powdery, there's a little bit of kick up, but it's super pigmented and it blends out really easily. Overall, just a really good blush. You can see my packaging is getting, well, maybe you can't see, but my packaging is getting quite dirty at this point, which just means that I've been traveling with it a lot. It's just a really good blush. I just haven't, like I said, I just haven't been using powder blushes super often. I feel like the cream blush that I have in my project pan has been doing everything I need it to do, and so I just haven't felt the need to reach for a powder. The next thing I pulled out is actually an eyeshadow palette. This is my Natasha Denona Biba palette. It's this really beautiful neutrals palette. I do like this palette quite a bit. I mean, it's just a neutrals palette. It is quite expensive for a neutrals palette. I find that these tones are much more yellow and warm toned than I typically go for at this point in my life. I did use this a couple of times. I used this enough to reach my goal for my No Palette Left Behind challenge, so putting this in my Shop My Stash did the job. I got my usages that I wanted to get out of this. Like I said, it's just a neutrals palette though, so I'm not super shocked that I was able to use it. The shades that I mostly went in with are Freckle. I used a little bit of Tor and a little bit of Spot depending on the vibe that I wanted, and these are both the cream to powder formula that Natasha Denona has, so both of these I was able to use to do like a little shadowing, and I really like these formulas for that specifically just because they're really easy to blend out because they do start off as that creamier formula. Besides that, I didn't really go in with a lot of these like shimmers. There's only 3 shimmers in this palette, and I don't think they're that impactful. I did remember using one of these shimmers on my lids, and I didn't use an eyeshadow primer, and I found that it was creasing a lot, and that's not the palette's fault at all. I think that's just my eyelids. Well, it is just my eyelids, but I think I'm getting a little bit older because I never used to think that I had creases in my eyelids, but I think I need to start wearing an eyeshadow primer when I put on eyeshadow. It was just bizarre. And the last item I have here is my Merit the Signature lip in the shade L'Avenue. This is a beautiful kind of darker berry tone. These lipsticks are sheer but buildable, so if you want just like a little bit of a wash of color, that's great. If you want a little bit more opacity and a little bit more of an intense lip, that's also great. I do like this shade a lot, but I have to say I was reaching for something else over this one when I was wearing lipstick. I was mostly reaching for my Clinique Almost lipstick in the shade Black Honey, mainly because I'm almost done with that and I feel like I want to like push myself to finish it because I've never finished any sort of like lipstick type product before. The shades of this one and the Clinique Almost lipstick are pretty much similar. The Clinique lipstick is just a little bit sheerer and not as buildable as this one, so just something to know. I do like this formula a lot. I should use this a lot more, but I think that just with me almost being done with the Clinique lipstick, this one kind of just like faded to the back. It is a really good formula though. I like the Merit lipsticks quite a bit. So that is everything that I picked out for the month of November. That was my November basket. I am gonna switch cameras and we will do an overhead view of the rest of my makeup collection, and then we can pick out some new products. So see you in a bit. Alright, we're gonna switch it up a little bit today and start from the bottom of my little storage cubby here. So we're gonna pick out a new eyeshadow palette to use. I know that I have a few different palettes that I still need to work my way through for my No Palette Left Behind challenge, this being one of them. This is the e.l.f. Bite Size Quad in the shade Cream and Sugar, I believe. You can see that this shade has completely fallen out, so I'm mostly just going to try and use the shimmers in here and this lid setting shade. So I'm going to pull this palette out, and then for a more fun look, I'm going to pull out my Pat McGrath Utopian Dreams palette. I haven't used this in quite a while, and with it being the holiday season, I think I want to do some more fun and colorful looks. So I'm gonna pull this one out as well. And I think that's it for this drawer. This is my fun drawer. This is all of my bronzers and blushes, and I have setting sprays in here as well, but I don't really use those that often. I am gonna pull out this Gucci blush. This is in the shade 05 Rosy Beige. So you can see maybe that when I opened this for the first time, I accidentally dug my nail in it a little bit. So there's a little bit of a scratch, but this blush is really pretty. It's a more powdery blush, and I haven't really gotten the chance to use this a ton. I picked this up during the Sephora sale, so I just want to make some use out of this. I think this is a really pretty blush. The component is definitely very pretty and nice and weighty. Gucci always does amazing things with their packaging. And for a cream, I'm actually going to pick out my Merit, what is this, the Bronze Balm, I think. This is in the shade Sen. This is just a really sheer bronzer. I feel like this is kind of the vibe that I've been going for lately, so I'm going to pull this out and try and get some use out of it. I really like the shape of this. I like that it is nice and oval, so I can draw this straight on my face, and I can really get into like the contours of my cheekbones if I want to because of the shape. Also, this is just a really good cream bronzer. Like I said, super lightweight, but it blends out really easily, and I can draw this on my face without feeling like it's going to pick up any of my foundation. So picking this out. And I think that's it from this drawer as well. I think having 2 powder blushes is maybe a little bit excessive, and I think I really only need the 1 cream bronzer. So that's it for this drawer. This is my primer and highlighter drawer. I'm not going to pick out a highlighter because I do have the Lila B Divine Lip and Cheek Duo, I think, in my project pan right now, so I don't think I need another one. And then as far as primers, I also have a primer in my project pan, but it's a matte primer. I think I'm gonna pull out a glowy primer. Let's pull out Vive Skin Nova. This is a little mini sample size of it, but if I want more of a glowy base, I think this will be really pretty, and this is nice and small and compact, so I don't really have to worry about traveling with it or anything like that. And I've only used this a couple times, so I want to make sure I'm getting some more use out of it, and I really want to solidify my thoughts on it. So picking this out. And then this drawer are all of my foundations, concealers, powders, and color correctors. I'm not sure I really need to pick anything out from this drawer. I think if I feel like I need or want a little bit more coverage or a different powder, I'll just reach in and grab it. I don't think I need to specifically pick anything out for this one. And I've said this before, I don't typically pull out lippies during my Shop My Stashes just because I don't wear lipsticks that often, but I think that I should take the opportunity and try and change that and try and force myself to use some of these lipsticks a little bit more. The one that I'm thinking of specifically is this one from Rare Beauty. This is a lip souffle in the shade Inspire. It's this bright red. I think with the holidays coming up, I think this would be a really fun little addition. This is a little mini size. Yeah, I just think with it being December and with Christmas coming up, I'd probably want some just more bold red lips. If there was a time to wear a bold red lip, this would be the time. So I'm gonna pull this out as well. And I think everything else can stay. Okay, and this is everything that I have picked out for this month. I think I have a good variety here. I have some colorful things to play with, especially because it is the holiday season. This blush is nice and neutral, so if I need to tone something down or something like that, if I need just a blush to go with some of these more bright looks, I think this would be a great addition. And I just have a couple other things that I kind of just want to play around with more. So I think this is a good haul. I am excited for this next month and to see what looks I can create with this palette specifically. I definitely need to get more use out of this. But yeah, that is it. I am sitting on the floor of my bedroom right now, and that's just the way it goes. I am so excited to see what looks I create this month. I am so excited for Christmas. I hope you guys are too. And I hope you guys kind of enjoy these extra little videos that I'm doing. For me, 3 videos a week is kind of a lot. So I am very excited to kind of show you guys what I have planned for this month. I will see you guys soon. Bye guys.